You really shouldn't overlook converting to a heresy in EU5 because the benefits they can give you are crazy. Catholicism is a dominant religion across Europe in the early 14th and 15th centuries. But the Reformation will happen, and even before that, you get some options to change your religion and receive some huge buffs for the cost of that change. This is because the buffs of just being Catholic aren't that great. You can't tax your clergy. You get 25% max literacy for your clergy, but they're a small group. You get some religious influence. You can make monasteries, but you're also severely limited. You can't become an empire. You can't declare wars on your religious head without a CB. And if you lose the Great Schism, you can't even do curia actions. One of the biggest buffs you can get through Catholicism is canonizing a saint, which gives you legitimacy and prestige. Yet this small buff doesn't really make up for what you're missing out by not converting to a heresy. Before the Great Schism, however, you do also get access to the Papal bull mechanics, allowing excommunication, crusades, which give good CBs, and opportunity to attack people, which is quite hard in the early game, and temporary buffs for 6 months as well. As you can see here, you get clergy estate satisfaction equilibrium, tolerance of heathen beliefs, estate satisfaction equilibrium, antagonism reduction, which is huge, institution growth, maritime presence, which is huge, and imperial authority modifier, which is good if you're doing a HRE game. But these buffs are temporary, and they're dependent on who has the ability to get cardinals and how many cardinals you have to win the votes needed to push these reforms through. You're also going to be using religious influence as a sort of currency to push these reforms through, and they're only a temporary buff, so whether it's really worth it is up to you and depends on your game. But overall, the buff is quite minor. And you're also liable to a tithe while you're in the Catholic Church, taking money out of your estates and your economy to go directly to the Papal States, or France if they've won the Great Schism. Is this worth it? Are the buffs worth this cost? Ultimately, this depends on your game and who you're playing, as even as Spain, a very historically Christian country, it might be worth changing to some sort of heresy for the huge buffs they offer. And the main reason for this is because a lot of these heresies offer some huge buffs, like max literacy. Now, max literacy is particularly important because it completely decides how fast you can research, how fast you can upgrade your troops, and how viable you are on the world stage. Especially in the age of professional armies and pike and shot, the faster you can get down these trees, the stronger you are, and less at risk of being destroyed by your neighbours you are. Sadly in EU5 at the moment, because levies are quite useless, the faster you can get really strong professional armies, you have a gigantic advantage over your enemies, especially as your levies can't regenerate very quickly if they are wiped. So if you get professional armies before everyone else, you've pretty much won already. If you get pike and shot before other people, you've pretty much won already. So if we can increase our literacy rate, and hence our monthly research progress, why not? And there are some even stronger religions for this, or less I say, heresies for this. Waldensian gives you 5% max literacy, but also 0.02% monthly literacy, so it quickly increases how far you get to your maximum and how quickly you gain your research points. And there's some even stronger ones than this. If you have a look at Lollardy, it gives max literacy 10%, which is gigantic. It also curtails your clergy with minus 50% clergy power. So if you have the option of going to this, why not? Especially as the buffs from your average literacy are so high, buffing your research progress, giving you new artistic skill, something that I have none of in real life, and progressing you to innovative, which as a value is extremely strong and you need to get down as fast as possible, further increasing your max literacy, increasing your cultural influence, and decreasing your embracing of institutions. So what are the costs of this? Well, front up, you lose 50 stability, which isn't amazing, but it's not the worst cost in the world. What is more important, however, is that you lose relations with your previous religion friends because you've gone to a heresy, especially the Papal State, who may want to sanction you or change you back. And you will increase not only how fast your antagonism goes up by being a different religious group, your relations will go down in kind, meaning that will influence your antagonism as well. So people will get very annoyed at you when you're a different religion, annexing people of their religion, and you will have issues because of this. So bear it in mind, because it's not a one-sided relationship. However, you are also cutting yourself off from royal marriages, and this is quite a big debuff, because you're going to struggle to get courtiers and new children for your sons and heirs. You're also going to lock yourself out of the possibility of getting personal unions, as you're not only unmarriageable, but you're a different religion. The final advantage, however, is that you can have some hilarious games because of it. The Bogomilist religion inside of the Christianity religious group is crazy for your games. It increases your retreat delay, which means that it's essentially, if you go into a battle, you're stuck into it, and you can't get away no matter what. But the most important modifier for this religion specifically is the everything is preordained modifier. The die you get in your battles is the die that you're going to get. So if you get a 6 straight away, you're going to be stuck with a 6, and you're going to get another 6, and another 6, and another 6. And you can completely destroy your enemy because of it. However, it can go the other way, so you need to be careful. But I would recommend trying a game as it is hilarious. But thank you guys for watching. I've shut this one out quite quickly because I've had a lot of comments about it. People weren't really understanding why they shouldn't go for it. And hopefully, I've summarised the pros and cons a bit for you. However, in your games, the literacy is a huge buff. So at the moment, I'm sort of leaning off why the hell not. But you do need to be aware that there are some big drawbacks, so consider them. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Have a bloody brilliant day.